Now I'm third. There's two 500s and then me coming out of the corner. Did a lap, come back around, and sometimes you just know. I came back around to that hole where Stewie disappeared out of my sight, and I could see Stewie's bike, Scotty's bike, and a big crowd of people, and I just pulled over. And I watched Stewie die there, and it was just horrible. So in 82, one of the Suzuki boys quit racing. They were our opposition. His name was Stewie McLaughlin. Stewie was the fastest guy you ever saw, wildest bloke you ever saw, and he quit. Suzuki come and seen me, had a yarn, had a laugh. Give me a ride on that bike. And he rode my 250, which was Rob's, and rode it fast. And we were about the good of the team.
Yep.
It's not about Pete. It's about Yamaha wins. Then Yamaha's happy. We're all happy. And God, Stewie could ride that bike. And I remember saying to him, geez, mate, what are you quitting for? You're 21 or 22, whatever he was. We were only young fellas. You should be riding Yamahas. I said, if I could get you a bike, will you come back in? Maybe. So I went straight to Rob, and he went down and Tom said, let's get him a 250. So we got Stewie a brand new 250, and he got on a Yamaha. That was January 82. And yeah, January 82 it was, I'm pretty sure. Stewie was fast and he was wild. And I was really pleased because that meant our team was stronger. So Yamaha was going to be stronger. I knew Stewie was going to kick my butt. You know, I knew I could ride well, but I wasn't in his league. Occasionally I would beat him, but mostly he had a skill I didn't have. And I was big enough to accept that and do my best and hope I would grow. You got to remember, these kids had been on motorbikes living in one town all their life, and that's all they did. Pete's done all sorts of bloody stuff. So he hasn't got much time, and besides that, he's busted his pelvis, so he's got limits. So Stewie and I are deciding to ride our 250s. It's January 82. Scotty's on his 125, Scotty Shepherd. At that time, we're Team Yamaha. We go to Bundaberg. It's January 82. Piss and rain. Big long main straight on the track. Big long main straight, like 90 mile an hour stuff. Big hollows and dips, and it's full of water. And it's the open class. Open class means ride whatever you like.
Yep.
So there's 500s, there's 250s and 125s. And we went out on that track, tear-offs on. Tear-offs meaning when you get mud on your face, you rip them off. And I can still remember how it happened. Full bore, scream over the ridge, down into this hollow. There's a couple of 500s, like half a bike in front of us. I can still see it. Stewie's right there out of my peripheral. A couple of big 500s. We're right there. There's four of us, bang, into this hole. Whack, we get hit by the mud. Somehow or another I've gone whack, got my tear-off gone, so I can see again. Like in a moment I've just grabbed the tear-off, and Stewie's not there anymore. Now I'm third. There's two 500s and then me coming out of the corner. Did a lap, come back around, and sometimes you just know. I came back around to that hole where Stewie disappeared out of my sight, and I could see Stewie's bike, Scotty's bike, and a big crowd of people, and I just pulled over. And I watched Stewie die there, and it was just horrible because he was such a strong bloke. He tried to get up. Scotty come into the mud, didn't see me, hit him in the back. And he died. And we watched him die. Fuck, it hurt. But I didn't cry then. I just went home. We packed up and we went home. We raced for maybe a year. Then I gave it away. I just said I knew I was never going to be as good as him and Mick, and so I just said to Rob at the end of that year, mate, you need to take Doohan overseas. He's, you know and I know, he's world champion material. Stop wasting your time with me. My heart's not in this anymore. I want to do other things. And it really upset Scotty. It upset me. We hung in there. We did a year or so, somewhere into 83, and but yeah, my spirit wasn't there the same. And I think about him a lot. He's in a photo on my wall.
Right.
And what's amazing about him is a guy that would swear every second word, and he was as rough as hell. He wrote a poem just before he died, which had just bring tears to your eyes. And his girlfriend read it at the funeral, and none of us could believe Stewie wrote it, and we still don't. And only last week, I had a group of people out at the island, and I was telling a bit of a story, a little bit of my story, much abbreviated on this. And I said, a mate died, and he come over to me later and said, well, that wouldn't have been Stuart McLaughlin, would it? And I said, did you know Stuart? And he said, I paid for his first bikes. I said, then you need to send me your email and I'll send you a poem that Stewie wrote. And he said, Stewie never wrote a poem. I said, yeah, he did, mate. I sent him a photo of Stuart on my bike, my 250, when we were playing together, and the poem, and this guy was just knocked out, you know.
Wow.
So that was a long time ago. So anyway, so
it was enough for you to eventually give up and just say, like, this isn't for me.
Well, there was a host of things, mate. I had the wisdom to know that I was in pain when I rode a motorbike. It hurt. It hurt me in the hips. It hurt me in the back.
Yep.
And I'm still suffering from it. And I was smart enough to say, you keep doing this. It wasn't necessarily that I was going to die. It was that I was going to become less.
Yep.
And I wanted to do more. So Scotty and I struggled with the fact that he'd hit Stewie. But as I said, you didn't even see him.
Yeah.
If Stewie had laid there, he'd have gone clean over him. But Stewie's tried to get up, and
Yeah.
Scotty's gone bam, you know. So it knocked the both of us around a lot, but we both kept going for a time. And then not long after that, Scotty crashed, same track, Bundaberg, and he ended up with, I remember looking at it, he had 2 elbows, busted his arm so clean.
Wow.
It came right angles, and he had metal bars, metal plates put in there. And I mean, he's an amazing young man, and he's raised some beautiful children, and his father's still Mr. BMX. They're called BMX Promotions. Scotty's got this amazing business. He's been importing bicycles into this country for 40 plus years. He runs that business. His dad's still around, amazing individual, beautiful human being. And, you know, we had that side of us, I think.
Yeah.
And so I give Rob the word that I was going to hang up my swag, and he just couldn't believe it. What do you mean? You've got everything you want. You've got Yamaha are going to give you 3 new bikes next year. And I just said, no, I don't want to. It wasn't immediately after the accident. It took time.
Yep.
And to recognise that and to see, because at that time Mick was riding for his mate Johnny McGilvray, and they had a thing called Team Camo, and the bike was all painted up in camo.
Right.
And McGilvray was a smart, good operator, a promoter, and McGilvray went with Mick. I don't know exactly the nature of what happened in the deal, how they did it, but I just quit, and I know they went to Europe, and Mick was Australia's best.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Mick Doohan is Australia's greatest motorbike racer that we've ever have. He's an absolute legend. I don't follow the racing, so I can't tell you how many times he was world champion.
5 times.
5-time world champion. There you go. So he's a phenomenal Australian racer.
Yeah, and he broke his leg at some point in his time and should have lost his leg. Similar philosophy, no such thing as can't, because when he came home with his broken leg, by now I have aeroplanes and I'm flying Mick around now and going to his boat, and he's got this thing on his leg, mate, like an external frame to keep his leg together, because we're still buddies.
So still to this day, he's got that on his leg.
Oh, no, sorry. At that time he did, while his leg was healing.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember looking at that thing, Christ, because the bones, these things were screwed into the bones. It was externally framed to keep it straight. He found a doctor in Holland or something. They were going to take his leg off, but he wouldn't take no for an answer, and he found a doctor that saved his leg.
Wow.
Amazing. Just these guys have amazing stories. So from my perspective, I'm hanging up my swag on racing. I've met this young girl called Julie. I just remember one night saying to her, "Do you want to get married? If you marry me, you know it's going to be a bit of a ride." And I can't guarantee what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun. And I'm going to give away the racing, and we're going to go and make some money, and we're going to go and do some special stuff. And that was it. She said, yep. So February 84, the 25th of February 84, we got married. She was just 19 and I was just 24.